All right, welcome back to the Elias Macko Show. He's a man on a mission, and that mission is going to space. It's a dream that's truly out of this world. Canadian astronaut Joshua Kutryk, he's in studio, and he is heading to the International Space Station. The news just coming out. Josh, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Oh, thanks for coming in. You know, when I was a little boy, I wanted to be an astronaut.
Yeah, me too.
But now, look at me. I'm just.
This is pretty good, though. This is a nice studio.
It's fine, but it's not space. You know what I mean? Josh, take me to the farm in eastern Alberta.
Yeah.
And how it begins for you.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't really know, but if I think back, I always remember being very curious and wanting to explore. That's what I remember. And so I had this dream since I was a child of going into space, but it was like a secret dream to me. I didn't share it because, and it still feels that way today. It's just so hard, and you got to get so lucky in so many different places through this long line of life.
Well, you got to be good to be lucky.
There's some truth to that.
There's truth to that. Yeah. What's the pathway? How do you get from Alberta to right now Houston? What is that pathway that involves luck and work?
Yeah, I think it involves a passion. You find something, you do that your whole life. You get really, really good at something technical. And for me, that was flying, test flying. I was a fighter pilot, then a test pilot, and I always loved that. I loved controlling systems in complex, high-risk environments, and then you apply and you get tested a lot. Yeah. About 2 years total of testing to get hired for this job. So
it seems like it's a spectacular time for the Canadian space program. That's what it seems like. I don't know if you can...
No, I would agree wholeheartedly with that. Yeah, I don't think we've seen a time like this before. We're talking about two major projects on the front of human exploration, right? We're talking about ISS, the Earth orbit, my mission. We're also sending a Canadian to the moon next year.
That's Artemis, right?
Artemis too. And the first time anyone other than an American is going to go to the moon is from this little country and from the Canadian Space Agency. I think that's... Yeah, awesome.
For our listeners, to paint the picture, you're in studio and you're in. Is it a uniform? Your suit? What do you call it?
It's a flight suit. It has two purposes: interviews and flying. I mean, we fly at NASA a lot, and we wear this. So
there's the Canadian flag on the side.
Yes.
How important is that?
Incredibly so. And in fact, people ask me, how I feel. I always say the same thing. It's exciting, but it's also it's pride. I'm proud to wear this blue suit with that red flag on it, because it is still remarkable to me how well we do as a little country in this big world of space. Mm-hmm. We're on the very forefront of space exploration with NASA. We have been since the beginning, and we're still right there with this mission. In fact,
you've brought something back to me because I mentioned I wanted to be an astronaut growing up, a little kid. I remember that, but you know what I also remember? The pride, Canadarm, Garneau, Payette. Yeah. I had pride. What should we be? Is that the argument? Throw a bunch of money at Canada's space program right there.
I mean, I think the national pride thing is a big part of it, and there's a little bit more within that, right? Space is something that seems to be able to bring people together for bigger challenges. We solve big challenges up there that help us on Earth. It brings countries together. It motivates people to cooperate instead of compete. So there's a lot in there. That is a good reason to be doing it. Of course, there's a lot of other technical reasons, economic reasons, but that's a big part. And the idea of inspiring, the next Canadians that'll follow that's a tangible benefit.
We're with Josh Kutryk, astronaut with the Canadian Space Agency. He's in studio. He's headed to the International Space Station in 2025. Let's get to that mission. Okay. What are you going to be doing?
I think you should think of it in two main terms. So there's the International Space Station part, 6-month long duration exploration mission there. That is doing a lot of scientific research for researchers from Canada, from around the world, have to learn how to do all that. Testing new technologies for the moon, that kind of stuff, working on the International Space Station. But then the second part of it has to do with this new vehicle we're flying there, which is the Starliner ship. This will be the first long-duration operational mission for this spacecraft. And so for our crew, a big part of this mission is centered on that. It's getting that vehicle ready to do this for the first time, and it's getting ourselves ready to go on it.
Who's the Starliner? Who's behind this craft?
This is a spaceship built by Boeing. It's brand new. The U.S. departed on this path of having commercial companies build 2 new next-generation spacecraft. SpaceX did one. It's the Dragon. They've been flying it for a few years. The second component to this strategy is Starliner, built by Boeing. And it's flown twice. It has not flown with people yet, but that's where we'll come in.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So, this must be such a spectacularly exciting part of the mission.
It is for me personally. I mean, I mentioned my background is in test flying, experimental flying. So for me, this kind of work is hugely fulfilling. Simulating, using systems for the first time, dealing with problems for the first time, helping to find problems, redesign complex systems. Yeah, I love it. But I'd go back to that pride thing. I think it's really remarkable that Canada again is here on the very forefront, invited by NASA to play such a leading role, to be on the first operational trip. That speaks volumes for Canada's space sector. It's a good thing.
Someone came up to me and said, Elias, we're going to send you to space. You want to go? I'd be like, yes. And then if they were to say, you got to stay there for 6 months, I go, oh, not so sure. How do you prepare for 6 months?
It's a big part of the challenge. It's a big part of the training. NASA puts a lot of effort on this with partners, Canadian Space Agency. I'll give you some examples. So we'll do space analog missions. A couple years ago, spent 3 weeks living underground Europe, hundreds of meters underground with a crew from around the world. We were doing science there, real research for researchers around the world. We were mapping out a new cave system, but really we were just surviving in an environment that's extremely high risk, high consequence, trying not to mess it up because you can't. There's no margin for error at all. And so we do stuff like that to try to not necessarily practice the technical skills. In a way, that's the easier part. The big challenge is getting ready for what you mentioned, which is dealing with the mental isolation, being in that can for 6 months with people you may or may not get along with really well.
Do you know who you're going to be with?
I do, yeah.
Okay, and they're from all around?
And we get along very well. Yeah.
Okay.
So
where are they from?
Well, we can only mention 2 of them. So 2 of them are from NASA, and then there's myself from Canada, and we're waiting on the announcement of the 4th person.
Strong North American contingent. I'll take that. Yeah. So, Josh, there's big strikes in Quebec today. I don't know if you've noticed on the streets. There's strikes. So that means the kids are out of school, and the kids who are normally in school, some of them might be with their parents in their car, listening to this show and hearing an astronaut, a real deal astronaut, talk about going to space. What would you say to a kid who is off school because of a strike and maybe has those same dreams about being an astronaut?
I mean, I guess I would say dream big. Find that thing, that passion that motivates you like nothing else, and follow it, because you never know where it's going to go. I mentioned to you, I've dreamt of doing this my whole life. That's true, but I remember being that kid, 6 years old in school, really interested in space and science, but never in my life, despite having the goal, did I think this would be possible. But I became passionate about it. I followed it, and somehow, I'm still not sure quite how, but somehow it's working out. So.
We have a mandatory question on the Elias Macko Show when we have a space guest, and that is, what is your favorite Star Trek series?
I fail miserably at this every time. I don't watch TV. Few passions. TV is not one of them.
So by the way, Trekkie behind you, Trudy Mason in the news booth. Okay, Trekkie, she's doing the Live Long and Prosper. Jay Farrar.
Can
Trekkie
I say
right there.
Picard? He seemed like a good guy. Big
are you
leader.
Are you talking Next Generation? Or are you talking about the new Picard
I don't even know what I'm
series?
talking about anymore. Can we go back to the space station?
How did he get in the CSA, for crying out loud? That's fine. That's good. No TV is what you're telling the kids.
That's
no
good
TV,
advice.
That's how you get
good
to space.
Advice, kids. Yeah.
Josh, thank you so much for coming in. I'm forever grateful, and good luck in space. Hopefully we can talk from your home in Houston once before you head up there, okay?
I would love to do that. Thanks.
Josh Kutryk is a CSA astronaut.